Demetria Clark, the director. Hi, this is Demetria Clark, the director of Heart of Herbs Herbal School, and today we are talking to Amelia South in the Heart of Herbs Herbal School podcast. So, Amelia, this is your second time being on, and I had said when with our first conversation that we were going to cycle back or come back to you, circle back, cycle back, whatever. It's spring. I'm all about cycles, but we were going to circle back to you and see what was going on. And it's been like a year and a half or so, or maybe even 2 years. So I'm
I think
really
so.
excited that we can do this with you. So thank you for being here. You've gone through a lot of changes and transformations, and you've been creating a ton of stuff. So let's just dive in and tell me everything you've been doing.
Okay.
Everything,
So
all at once,
all of it. Yeah.
all of it
So
now.
so I was like I think the last time we talked, I was doing all my business under my farm name, and I haven't closed my farm. I haven't like shut down my farm or anything. It's
Mhm.
just um I've decided to lean more into like my persona and my teaching and the books that I've been writing and things like that. I do still make my herbal products, and that's all under my farm name. It's just when you for anybody that's listening that's ever had their own little business, or God forbid you're growing your own herbs or anything, you call yourself a farm and you're going to get all kinds of traffic and phone calls and people stopping by your door saying, hey, what vegetables have you got today? And if you have transitioned your business from selling vegetables, or selling eggs or something, to selling herbs or herbal remedies, the majority of like the public just they don't get that, and then you have to stand there and explain it to them and all this other stuff. And it was just like I basically kind of I wanted to lean more into being an herbalist, and less focus on the farm business. Um so I last year, I think it was last spring, I was talking with a friend of mine, and we were talking about herbalism and starting to write my own book and everything. And she said, "You're just like the no bullshit herbalist." And I said, "That sounds great. That's fantastic." And then like last fall, I decided, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna call myself that. I'm gonna lean into that, and I rebranded my whole business as the No BS Herbalist. And I think it's landing pretty well, because that I've had a lot more people say this is really great. It appeals to a certain crowd, I guess. I don't think anybody that says they don't swear is lying. So I'm like,
I
um,
agree. Or
yeah,
maybe they're not lying. They're just not listening to themselves, maybe.
yeah, yeah, because like,
Because I'm the
yeah,
worst.
it's I'm pretty bad too. I'm just saying, like, even super duper wealthy people, like, you think they don't drop a dish on their foot and swear or something, it's like everybody does it. So that's why there was a little trepidation about changing the name and adding that in there, but I'm like, no, I'm just going to do it. And it's good, because it's attracting people to my business now that don't want crap. I'm like, listen, I have integrity. I am an honest person. If I don't know the answer to something, I'm going to tell you I don't know. you
Exactly.
know, that's hard to find sometimes, especially on the internet.
Well, and everything is like all of these wellness algorithms and all this stuff, and you're just kind of
Mhm.
like, uh, there's no information here, actually. It's just the
Oh
algorithm.
yeah.
And
Well,
fun fact, women who
there
swear live longer.
you
Okay?
go.
So
People
I'm
who
living
swear.
to
There was that study.
300.
Oh, exactly. They did a study saying people who swear are more honest.
Yes.
There's
Yeah,
literally
that
like
that too. Yeah.
scientific evidence of it. Yeah, and I'm like, that's I guess I'm the most honest person you're ever gonna meet, because I swear a lot.
Yeah, I
You
never
know?
swear online, but I do swear in my real life.
Yeah. Well, I do swear online sometimes. I try not to like just fling it out there. I'm not Jay and Silent Bobbing it or anything out there,
Yeah, yeah.
but if I drop something for emphasis, that's the important bit. And I just really wanted to I didn't name myself that to
Hmm.
make it sound like I think every other herbalist is full of shit or anything. I
Yeah,
don't want
yeah.
That's not what I meant. I meant
No, no,
like
yeah.
I am honest. I am not gonna lie to you. There's no crap here. And um there are some herbalists that lean
Yeah.
really into the esoteric spiritual side of things, and I'm not like opposed to that by any means. It's just that more I'm somewhere in between with that. Like I do the
Hmm.
spiritual stuff and I do some of the science stuff, but I'm not one or the other. I just like, look, this is how I know it. This is what I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you. And I still lean into the foraging because I love foraging, but
Hmm.
I've realized now that there's, that's you got to make a business decision. What is making you more money
What feeds your
yeah,
family?
what feeds your family, what pays your mortgage? Is it the
Yeah.
foraging or is it the herbalism? And usually it's a little bit more on the herbalism side. But then I get people into foraging
Hmm.
because they realize. I actually spoke with a man yesterday at the expo. I was vending at an expo in Rhode Island, and there was a guy that came up to my booth and he said, oh my God, I'm so excited to talk to another forager because he was a forager and a chef. And all the stuff that I'm constantly spouting out, like in my books about how diversity of your diet and adding foraged foods, wild
Hmm.
foraged foods to, from the wild into your diet helps improve the diversity in your microbiome, which improves all the nutrition, all the vitamins and the minerals that your body usually isn't getting. You're getting that from the wild foods. And he
Yeah.
was saying all the same stuff. So I'm like, I high-fived the dude a couple times. I'm like, you got it, man. This is great. We're gonna be friends. So it's great to find people that recognize that and realize that. And that has been part of my mission. It's just you have to figure out like what's the hook? How do you hook them? How do you hook them and get them into that world? And that is, this is my physical pain. How do I solve my physical pain?
Yeah.
How do I
Yeah.
solve this physical problem that I'm dealing with? And then you hook them and grab them and start bringing them in. And like, you can also forage stuff in your own backyard and it's not that hard.
Exactly. Well, it's funny because as herbalists, I think we have to, if we do not exist in more than one plane,
Hmm.
we can't connect with clients. We
Yeah.
just can't. Like there's so many people who are like eat, drink, whatever, herbalism, and that's all they do. And I
Hmm.
love that, but that's not the real world. So how can I help you go to your local grocery store and find herbal goodness or the your yard or wherever, it's not just like
Yeah,
we're not just one kind of person and being able to adapt, I think, to those different people is so
exactly.
important. And I love that you're talking about doing that.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the things I try to do is meet people where they're at. Like
Hmm.
start where people are at. Like
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
are in abject poverty and you can't afford to eat most of the time, if the only vegetables that you're able to afford to buy are like the canned ones or
Hmm.
something maybe frozen from like the dollar store or something, please just do that.
Yeah,
Do whatever you
exactly.
can
A
do.
hundred
The
percent.
healthiest option rather than
Hmm.
choosing the yucky option. And there was another interaction I had yesterday that illustrated the no BS part of my herbalism. This woman was looking at my book. So real quick plug for myself. This is my Think Like an Herbalist book that you
I
read.
love
You
it.
liked that book? Yep.
Yeah.
So she was looking at that book and I explained, I said, look, the first half of the book is all about like prevention. So how to eat right, getting the right vitamins and
Hmm.
minerals in your body, the right kind of habits that are going to keep your body in health in general.
Hmm.
And then the second part is organized by like body systems, where you're talking
Yeah.
about, your liver or your gallbladder
Hmm.
or your hormones, that kind of thing. And I said, this really is my best attempt at explaining how to keep your body healthy, how to get your body healthy, and how to keep your body healthy, especially from all those chronic problems people have. And so she was looking at it, and she heard me talking to somebody else too, and she says, I'm really just looking for a book or something where I can say, I've got this problem. This is the herb I take. And I said, I hate to break it to you, but that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I said the
It's not
reason
that simple.
no, it's really not that simple. I said because you can make a list. Somebody could make a list like that and sell it to you, I'm sure, but it's not going to be accurate. At
Yeah.
least not 100% of the time. Maybe something will work. And I did the example. I said, listen, if you were really hot, I'm trying to, the simplest explanation I could think of. If you're really, really hot all the time, you're really warm, you've got like red skin, you're really, really warm all the
Hmm.
time, and you've got a headache or you've got some kind of pain, and I give you a bunch of cayenne pepper that's going to make you feel even hotter. Do you think that's going to help? Or do you think that might make it a little bit worse even? And she said, oh, yeah, I could see making me even hotter is not a good idea. I said, that's energetics. That's just like the
Yeah.
basic energetics. And I said, until you understand at least on some level how that's going to work as a person, like every person is different, you're not going to be able to do that. Just take this herb for this thing.
Yeah.
there's a little bit of that you can get away with. Like I sell my birch oil that's friggin'
Yeah.
phenomenal. It works great on pain. Um, and for most people it does work. It works fine, but it's like it's a temporary fix for an acute problem, that you're having for like, oh, I just got a headache for the first time in 2 months. I'm going to put some birch oil on my
Yeah.
head,
Yeah.
or what, my elbow hurts. I'm going to put some on there
Mhm.
right now. It's not like repairing your body. It's not fixing
Yeah.
the chronic issues. It's a temporary, like taking an aspirin kind of thing. Um, and that's just something that a lot of people don't understand. So that's one of my missions in the world, is to try to bring that, like, get people, normal people that don't understand this stuff, that don't study herbalism, like everybody can start learning a little bit about their body,
Yeah.
a little bit about herbalism.
Yeah.
And that's why I wrote that book. So
I
get
think that's
people
good
to
that
understand.
people have that resource, and I'm glad that you wrote the book. I do feel very scared when I see people getting a lot of their primary health information in 30 seconds segments from reels, more access to information than just these
Yeah.
30-second sound bites. And I think people are really, they say book readership is up. And I think that's the side of that we're also seeing people are saying, ooh, enough. So you wrote that and
Mhm.
you wrote another book, right? Excuse me,
I wrote
on mental
multiple
health,
books.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see them.
So the one that a lot of people really like right now is this one, Think Like an Herbalist. That
Hmm.
is, I don't know if it's coming up. It might be
Yeah, it's
mirrored on the
perfect. It's
thing.
beautiful.
But yeah, that's on my website and on Amazon and everything. And it's won an award. It's got a lot of good reviews. That there's that one. There is this one is Forage and Heal. This is my
Hmm.
foraging book. So this is three different parts. The first part of this is basically explaining foraging, and like there's like 10 or 15 different plants that you can forage pretty easily, and their nutritional profiles and all the different reasons why
Hmm.
you would want to start eating wild foods. I have a whole section in here on how to deal with black walnuts, because I have a bunch of black walnut trees in my yard, and I was like, you know what? Not everybody knows what to do with the black walnuts. So there's that. There's 26 of the most commonly misidentified plants that I
Hmm.
come across over and over again. I can't tell you how many people have said to me, "Oh, that's not mullein, that's lamb's ear. Oh no, that's not lamb's ear, that's mullein." And I'm like, "Oh my God, no, that's the reason I wrote this book." Like
Perfect.
so, and there's just FYI, it's not just a book. There's like little QR codes in it that go to like YouTube videos on my YouTube channel that show you the plant. Um, uh-oh, did that work?
Nice.
Yeah, we froze a little bit. I hope that worked. So
Yep. So that's okay. All right. All right.
yeah. Then I've got my cookbook. This is Wildcrafted Eats.
Oh,
This is
nice.
I think like 60 different recipes of different things that I've
Nice.
done videos on my channel over the years. And they're all really good. Gluten-free, very low sugar. Just like I think all of them are dairy free too, because I couldn't have gluten or dairy. But,
There
but
you
they're all
go.
really
Perfect.
really tasty. Yeah. And sugar, low sugar or sugar free, because you can maple syrup and honey are okay for your blood sugar. I mean, you don't want to drink a gallon of maple
Yeah. Yeah.
syrup,
Yeah.
but it's so much, it affects your body so much differently than white sugar.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
and then this one I'm working on, I might be tweaking the name, and I'm working on finishing recording the audiobook, but this is Uncovering Amy. This is the big one that hasn't gotten as big as I'd like it yet, but this is huge because this is how I regained my mental health, how I got my mental health for the first time in
Hmm.
my entire life. When I was 38 years old, I went through what I can only really describe as a mental breakdown, which basically resulted in dissociative identity disorder, multiple
Hmm.
personalities. And I
Hmm.
realize now everybody has them. Every single person watching, listening, you have multiple parts to your personality. Whether you accept it or realize it or know how to do anything about that or not
Hmm.
is a different story. Um, Once this book came out, I gave a copy to a friend of mine who's a psychologist, and she said it's kind of similar to IFS, internal family systems, and I had never heard of that. Like I
Hmm.
went through this whole thing, went through multiple exorcisms, horrible stuff that happened to me. And I managed to find the one person that was able to help me rewire my brain. Um,
Hmm.
and it was amazing. And that's what I talk about in this book. This is life-changing stuff.
Hmm.
How to resolve the anxiety, the depression, all those issues that people are going through. Yes, herbs help. Yes, your gut helps. Healing those things help, but understanding the psychological part of it is huge. Now, the friend of mine that told me about internal family systems, I said, okay, I've never heard of that. So I went and found that, and I looked up the book, looked up the guy that teaches that. I bought the book and read his book, and I said, it's
Hmm.
different. There are similarities 100%. And I don't know if this is going to matter for anybody. There's a very niche sort of person
Yeah.
that's understanding what the hell I'm talking about right now.
Hmm.
But if you've heard of IFS as regards dissociative identity disorder or multiple personalities, it is similar, but it is definitely not the same, because I feel like that guy, he's a psychiatrist, so, psychiatrist or no, psychologist, I think psychologist. He teaches you basically how to talk with the part of you that is having problems.
Hmm.
The method that I use, that I learned from the guy that invented it in this book,
Hmm.
completely reprograms that part to integrate with everybody, all of you.
Okay.
So
Nice.
if you think about, there are internal, a parent, an adult, a child, your sexual side, your creative side, all these different mental compartmentalized parts of you. Um, if one of them's unhappy, if one of them is angry, they argue with each other, and they come out in different ways. They are expressed through your, human, your mouth and everything, as
Yeah.
you're one person. Um, but if you can get them all on the same side, all working together, that's a game changer. That is a completely life-changing
Hmm.
event. And that's what I went through, and that's what I teach. Um,
Wow. Thank you
and
for
that's
sharing that with
You're
us.
welcome. That's in this book. So hopefully,
Cool. That's
yeah.
awesome.
And I've had a few people read it and say it was a very quick read, because I write like I talk, uh,
Hmm.
you know, but I want this to be accessible. I want this to be accessible to people, and I want that to be able to change the world. There are so many people struggling with anxiety and depression, and they're not. Herbs can help these things in some way, but at the same time, there's most of the time when somebody has anxiety, really bad anxiety, they come to an herbalist, and we say, okay, well, what herbs can I take to help my anxiety? There's absolutely herbs. Motherwort can help lower
Yep.
your blood pressure, lemon
Hmm.
balm can help calm you down, passion flower, all these other,
Yeah.
milky oats can help you deal with the
Hmm.
stress. But they're not resolving the problem. They're
Yeah.
managing symptoms.
Yeah.
Just like if you went to a psychiatrist, the psychiatrist would give you drugs to manage your symptoms. they're
Yeah.
they're covering up what the actual problem is, the underlying problem. And what I want to do is resolve the problem itself. Now, the problem with trying to resolve the mental problem, the psychological problem, is that most people, at least most people that I've worked with, aren't ready for that, because it's
Yeah.
a lot. It's a big, deep, scary thing. It's a
Yeah.
fear thing. You're all those mental parts of you, all those inner fears, they stop you, because change is scary.
Oh, yeah.
Change is
Yeah.
scary.
Right.
Change and healing is scary. It's one thing to ask somebody to change up their diet, say, hey, maybe can you eat differently for like 2 months, and this will start working on healing, repairing the gut damage, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing. It's another thing to say, hey, can you make this tea every day for
Hmm.
a few months? Drink this tea or take this tincture for 6 months or something like that, and that'll start helping you. It's another thing entirely to say, are you ready to basically give up everything that has been holding you back, everything that has
Hmm.
been keeping you in the place that you're at mentally,
Yeah.
um, in order to grow into the person that you were always meant to be.
Yeah. No, it's hard. I mean, it's are you ready to reconstruct yourself? Are you ready to
Exactly.
do the dirty work? And I think
Yeah.
I think in theory people feel like they are, and then once they get into it,
Once it
because there's
starts
often
happening, they get
so much
scared.
resistance from the world around
Yeah.
them. You know, it's like the worst thing you can do is start like speaking your truth or advocating for
Hmm.
yourself, right? Because then everyone around you is like, "Whoa, what the fuck is going on here?" You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean you don't want to be taken advantage of?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, you know what?
Boundaries. Whoa. You know?
Deciding to stop talking with a parent that has
Mm,
been basically taking advantage of you or, abusing you in some way for
mhm.
most of your life is a huge step. And I know there's
Yeah.
more people in my generation and the younger generations that are starting to do that. They just realize, look, this, I don't care if you're my mom or whatever,
Mhm.
you are toxic. What am,
Yeah.
say to yourself, what am I getting out of this relationship?
Yeah.
Like, what
Yeah.
am I actually getting?
Well, it's so funny. Like, so I had a conversation. It's not natural that you get an instant reply from your child. This is something that's 15 years old, right? We
Yeah.
can track all
Yeah.
their movements. We can see what they're doing 24/7. We expect them to
Yeah.
answer us at 3 o'clock in the morning. That is weird. You
Yeah.
would be lucky if you would get a few letters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or the once a week
Exactly.
phone call. And so I think a lot of people, when they smother
Hmm.
their other people in their life and they pull back, maybe they're not saying, I don't want to talk to you at all. Maybe they're saying, I don't need to answer your text at 3 a.m. in the freaking morning. Like, you know, it's so, and they were just like, oh, I'm like, maybe we're being a little irrational with our
Yeah.
communication expectations with the people around us too. I don't know. That was just like a thought. You like, you know,
Oh
it's
no,
like we
that's
just
definitely part of
expect
it.
so much. Like,
That's definitely part of it. I still like with me, I realized I had to sip. I didn't at first want to stop talking, at least with
mhm,
my mother, but it was like every single time I talk with you, um everything goes right back to my sister who is abusing it and using
mhm.
that information to scream at me, or you are guilt tripping me about something I said or something that I did. And it got to a point where I'm like, every time I try to talk with you and try to communicate with you, I'm not getting anything out of this anymore. It's not a reciprocal relationship anymore. Like, uh-oh,
Yeah.
did we stop?
Is this
It's just
hurting me or harming me?
exactly. So it
Or
got
is
to a
it
point
is
where
it harming me or helping me kind of thing, you know?
yeah, it's just so I stopped communicating and I'm like, you know how free it doesn't mean you don't love that person.
Yeah.
You still love them,
Hmm.
but like you can love somebody and not want anything to do with them
Yeah.
because it's harmful to you. It's like a toxic relationship.
Hmm.
So there has to be give and take in every relationship. That's what
Yeah.
if you're just giving and giving and giving and getting crapped on constantly, there's no point in maintaining that relationship, whatever that relationship is. One of the things I talk about in my book is realizing that my husband at the time, my ex-husband and I had like a mother-son relationship. I was basically his mom, telling him what
Hmm.
to do, and he would do this and he would do that. And it's like
Yeah,
that kind
that's
of
a
a
lot of work.
dynamic, yeah, that kind of dynamic only works for so long
Hmm.
because internally, your parent, your internal parent is a parent for everybody. God forbid you have kids, you are their
Yeah.
parent, which is okay,
Hmm.
that's normal,
Yeah.
but you don't want to parent your husband,
No, no,
you don't want to be
and
their
it's a
parent.
huge problem. I mean, and we
Lots
are,
of women have to deal
I
with
don't know
this.
how old you are, but I'm 51, I think. Anyways, but I feel very much like we're in this generation of having to like our parents having a second childhood but raising our children and unrealistic expectations, and then people, I hear people be like, my parent still talks to me about shit I did when I was 12, and I'm like,
Yeah,
that's so weird.
yeah.
You know, like this whole like always bringing, you know, always you know, it's just it's a very strange dynamic out there, I'm feeling.
Well, yeah, and if you have the kind of relationship, whether you're a man or a woman, if you are parenting your spouse,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
if you are having to tell them what to do, taking on that whole mental load and all of that, how does that how does
That's
that
not
translate to
sexy,
you having a
people.
sex life?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
That's what I was just
You
saying. That ain't
like you
sexy.
don't want to have sex with your child,
No. And
you
and
know?
to be honest, like I don't want to have sex with someone that I have to nag.
Exactly.
I married a fucking grown ass man. Act like one. You know what I'm saying? Or like
I
whatever
know.
whoever your partner is. But
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
we have to start adulting for each other.
Hmm.
And we have to start letting our kids grow up and be adults and not, over parentify. But if you're over parentifying someone who's in their 40s, like they're
Yeah.
12 or like they're 14, this isn't going to work. It's like,
And it's not just like that you don't want to do it. The fact is you have to sit there and say to
cut
yourself,
the cord.
do do I have to do this? Is this person capable of surviving on their own without me? And if the answer is
Mhm.
no, you shouldn't be with that person,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know? I mean, it's one thing if you're taking care of like your grandpa or something and
yeah.
they need some help, they're in their 70s
Mhm.
or whatever and they need that's a little
Yeah,
different, but like your spouse, your partner
yeah,
should be physically and mentally and emotionally capable of like living on their own for a week without you. And if they're
yeah.
not, they never grew up.
Yeah, they don't need to be texting you. I was out with someone and she's 10 years, 15 years older than me. Her husband's texting her about a snack.
Oh my God.
And she's like, we should probably get back so I can make him a snack soon. And I was like,
Are you kidding me?
no, no, this for real. And I was like, uh,
Oh.
okay.
Wow.
I was like, let's cut what
That
we're
you're
doing
his
short
mom.
so you can go
Yeah.
and make a snack for someone who's capable of making a damn snack. It's very
Yeah.
strange. The world's very strange out there. People are like, why don't you go out more? Because I can't handle the strange people. Why don't we see you at conferences at Dimitri? Because I'm just scared to go outside. I'm just scared, man. Because
No,
it's
see,
crazy
I want
out
to go out
there.
and I want to meet new people. I want to meet new people,
Oh,
and God forbid, you
I
know?
love that you want to do that.
Well, I didn't used to, but now I do.
You can do that for me too. I am. It's rough out
There's
there.
got to be some other adults out there somewhere. And it's okay. It's totally okay to let your inner child out and have fun. You want
Mhm.
your inner child to be integrated with you and
Yeah.
everything you do. You want to let your inner child know that you're there for
Yeah,
to
we're gonna
protect
nurture
them
you, but
and
you can make a
you
peanut butter
love
and
them.
jelly on your own.
Yeah. Well, your inner child might not be able to, but the rest of you certainly can. That's for sure. You know, that's it's a huge part of health though. That's the thing. Like
Hmm.
everything we do is about health and healing, and herbalism is all about healing, but there's so much more to it than just working with herbs. And I am not saying herbs are not important, and I love being an herbalist. I love being able to help people with
Yeah,
the physical
exactly.
stuff. But that's why I added a question to my intake form. I
Hmm.
said, "Do you want help physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually? Like, do you
Hmm.
want help in all of these ways?" And there's
Yeah.
check boxes, so you can check off
Hmm.
which one you want. Now, if somebody's watching, if you don't know how to help somebody
Hmm.
emotionally or spiritually or mentally, then don't offer. You know,
That's why you have a
you want to
referral
learn.
list.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, refer them to somebody. You can refer
Good
people to me if you
referral
want, if
list.
they want
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
I refer people out to like I'm not as good as I would like at doing like flower essences. There's somebody I refer out. If somebody wants flower essence practitioner, I will send them to somebody. If somebody wants an aromatherapist, I will send them to somebody. If somebody needs like a nurse
Mhm.
practitioner, I will send them to
Yeah.
somebody specifically for that. Realize where your strengths are and focus on that. It's just because I know how to do this now because of all the crap that I went through and how I healed myself and how I've
Hmm.
seen this method heal other people. I can't just sit silent. That's why I wrote
Yeah.
that book.
Yeah.
This book is to show you, yes, it's possible. This is what I went through. This is how I healed it. And I do there is an offer at the back if you'd like me to work if you'd like to work with me on doing this for you. It's just you got to understand that like life as you know it changes.
Yeah.
You start turning into a different person, not obviously physically a new person. You don't shed your skin literally, but internally, you go from somebody that was scared and anxious and worried about everything to you grow into this beautiful, confident woman or man, whoever you were always meant to be, finally comes out. And when you do that, all
Hmm.
the people that you were hanging out with, that you were best friends with, that you were, constantly surrounding yourself with when you were on that lower level tend to go away. You
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
vibe with those people, the people that hate
Yeah.
themselves, hate their lives, all, have anxiety, whatever it is, and whatever level that they're on. If you're on their level, that's why you're hanging out with each other. When you finally
Hmm.
decide that you're going to heal yourself and you dive in and you do the work and you start raising your vibration, you start changing to a different level, like you're mentally healthy, you're way up here, you don't want to hang out with them anymore.
Yeah.
Now,
No, you don't.
most people want do their best to try to say, hey, I can help you. You want to do this? You want to change? Do you want to, like, they've tried to bring their friends up with them. And I see it time and time again. Most of the time it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you can, again, you can lead a horse to water,
Yeah.
but you can't make
Yeah.
them drink. Happens
Hmm.
all the time. Especially anybody that sees clients knows this. Like you can
Yeah.
tell them what they can do, but you can't force them to do it. It's the same with
Exactly.
mental health.
Exactly.
You have to be in a certain amount of pain to want to change.
Yeah.
And if the pain that you're going
What's your
through, whether
pain
that's
point?
physical, exactly, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever that pain level is, if it's not hard enough, if it's not strong enough to entice the rest of you to want to make a change, nothing's going to change. You're just going to stay where you are in your comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a
No.
huge leap. It's a huge thing to change. I get it, but like everybody that actually does the work, you come out on the other side, you're like, holy shit, this is amazing. I love myself. I am so proud of myself. I trust every decision that I make. I don't worry about where I go or where I am.
Hmm.
I know that the universe is taking care of me. Understand, like all of these great things. You feel so much, but there's peace. There's peace
Yeah.
inside, you
Yeah.
know?
No,
It's
for
huge.
real. It is huge. So how do people find you?
Well, I am my website is nobsherbalist.com.
Easy
So
one to remember. It's nobsherbalist.com.
yeah, yeah. Now that's my main website. You can get through everywhere. Like I
Hmm.
have another, like, a Shopify store. There's a
Yeah.
link to it there.
Yeah.
People are always like, why do you have three different websites? Because I have one that hosts my classes, and then
Yeah.
one that has my physical, like, herbal
Hmm.
products and stuff. They're all through No BS Herbalist, but I'm on YouTube and TikTok, which this is the fun story. My name on YouTube and TikTok is at the original Meal Chan, which doesn't make any sense to anybody
Hmm.
until like I started a TikTok account in, like, I think, like, December of 2021 for
Hmm.
shits and giggles, pretty much. Like I didn't know what I was doing, and then within a year, it turned into, like, I started sharing plants. I'm like, look at this
Yeah.
plant. This is what you can do with this plant. Look at this plant, and all of a sudden, I had like 10,000 followers, and now I'm at, like, I don't know, 160 something thousand followers, but people following me on TikTok, and I'm like, if I change my name now, no one's gonna be able to find me.
Yeah. 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 Leave it. It's working. Just leave it there,
Yeah.
right?
So that's what it is. And Meal Chan was my nickname in high school. So it's like, I'm Amelia Meal Chan. It's an anime thing. So uh-oh, gotta catch up. Yeah, the internet's been laggy. Sorry.
Yep. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
So what
that
were you
on
saying?
those two. And then on Facebook, it's No BS Herbalist, and on Instagram, it's No BS Herbalist. Like, if
Okay,
you
cool.
Google No BS Herbalist, everything's gonna come up. If you Google my name, what comes up is a set of condominiums in Florida.
In Amelia,
There's
Florida.
Amelia South condominiums on an island in Florida.
Yep,
And I'm
yep,
like,
yep, yep.
yeah, those are mine,
Is
totally.
that is
Yeah.
that isn't that Amelia Island?
It is on Amelia
Yeah,
Island.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah. When
remember
you
when I was
said
in
that,
high
I
school.
suddenly
Yeah.
was like, "Oh goodness, that's
Yeah,
yeah,
my
that's
dad
funny."
actually went to, like, did his honeymoon with my stepmother on Amelia Island, and he brought back brochures from Amelia South condominiums, and I'm, oh my God, look at that.
That's
Like,
funny.
So
All
don't
right,
Google my name
so
unless you're going to put like human or herbalist
yeah,
after
yeah. No
it.
BS herbalist. Just look that up. That's what you're gonna do, and that'll get you connected. So
Yeah, yeah.
thank you so much for being here with us today. I
Oh,
really
thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
And let's plan to circle back again in like another year or so
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
see what's changed and what's
Maybe I'll be
going
really famous
on.
by then. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope
Yeah,
so. So hopefully you'll have a wonderful summer and
thank you.
you'll
You
have
too.
lots of fun. And I mine is so freaking ridiculous. So we will all
I've
be
got a lot
having
of things
fun
I'm
wherever
planting
we
this
are.
year. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was like, oh goodness. But thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And we're gonna let you go so you can get back to your life. I know you're busy. So thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.